some of the tools that you see available, in the future to make governance better happen better for everyone? And is there anything that USPK is doing like drastically different that you can see that's really innovative? You've pointed to skateboarding. There's maybe some other success examples you can point to, but I'm curious to see if there's anything that is just like, here's the new level that everyone's neglecting, that we're doing differently or that we
Sure.
want to do in the future.
I mean, I'll use this opportunity to say, to do my pitch on the fact that we need help, we need volunteers, we need folks that want to come on, and we do hope to have more paid positions over the next year to make sure that people are getting, paid for their work. I know the community has had a rough time with volunteer work over the years, but the idea is basically the more people that we have on board to do this sort of things, we can run those competitions better. We can get into public advocacy spaces where we talk to state and local level governments on behalf of the community. Because I think if you want a public parkour park, right, it's pretty tough to go in there as yourself right now. Even, unless you have a really solid business plan, you know somebody on city council maybe to go in and just say like, hey, we deserve a parkour park. Let's allocate some public funding to this. When you come in with a national governing body behind you, it's a lot easier because they can look at the site, they can see what parkour is, they can understand, okay, there's somebody larger backing you that has their ducks in a row, and it adds that kind of legitimacy to what you're trying to do. And I think that we're going to see that pay dividends with public parkour parks. With sponsorships, we're also looking at creating more of a sponsorship pipeline for athletes, for competitions. And we see that as a really unique opportunity because parkour as a sport, I think people take really good care of their bodies. So we'd love to see more healthy brands in there, staying away from the alcohol, cigarettes, energy drinks, maybe, and going more the route of healthy foods, things that, take care of yourself and, pump some of those up for healthy living. So we'd love to see that. And then the other thing we're doing is we are trying to be as community focused as possible. So when you're hearing us talk about the competitions, I'm sure a lot of folks are like, well, how are you guys deciding that? And what gives you the right to decide that? Well, good governance is basically trying to create, those open democratic platforms. And so part of that means creating a competition committee that has an athlete advisory committee, a judging committee, and we're trying to get as many folks that have been involved in this, that have the experience, the folks that felt like maybe they've been slighted by other competitions, like Red Bull. I know a lot of people flag on the judging there, to get those folks in the door and say like, hey, if you're not happy with the results and you kind of don't like that, come join this committee. It's open. You don't necessarily need to be like running the comp yourself, but like help us decide what those rule sets are, what's fair going forwards, what is representative of parkour. And so we're trying to create those open doors and those types of committees so that people feel heard, and that they can have a direct impact on what the future of the sport looks like. And that's something that's very different. I think that gymnastics is not going to do that. I think they're tried and true method in other countries, and we're still new in the process within the US, but within other countries, it's been basically to get parkour people in the door, ask them, this information, kind of suck them dry of the information. And if they start to disagree, they'll show them the door, and then they'll get in the next yes man, yes person, that will just agree to whatever they're saying. And so we're going about that completely differently because we're trying to build that into the org early on so that people have that voice and again, can make that impact.
Dope. Is there a place that, if they want to get involved right now, let's say a listener wants to volunteer, do they go to uspk.org, or where do you direct people that want to get involved? And, is there anything else that you want to share on terms of like how people can get involved and what benefits are, or the reasons why they might want to get involved?
Sure. So yeah, uspk.org is definitely the spot. We are in the middle of upgrading our website with a whole bunch of new stuff that basically encompasses kind of our direction, our strategic plan over the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, et cetera. So a lot of that is getting updated. So if you see the site now, it's going to look kind of outdated. But within the next couple months, that will be launching. And we're also launching a bunch of new membership tiers and showing you exactly what kind of benefits you get for those. So one that we're really excited about is for an individual USPK membership. As like a pro athlete, if you sign on just because you want to compete, you don't have to be top tier. Anyone can sign on to this membership tier, but that's basically insurance for anywhere you do parkour, not just a gym, but if you train outside and you break your arm, you basically would just contact our partner, and it's a super simple process you can do on an app, you know, or with a phone call. And that's pretty revolutionary because I don't think that that's really existed before. And I know that a lot of people that do parkour are probably just either oblivious or blissfully, you know, ignorant and taking on the risk of that comes with potential injuries. And in the States, that's a big deal because sometimes your medical stuff with your job, your insurance may not cover it. So we're launching a whole bunch of that stuff. I will also go ahead and send you, Brandon, a link maybe to put on there. It's just kind of our volunteer Google form that people can fill out, and they kind of enter those Batman skill sets that we're kind of looking for. So if you're a webmaster or you've had governance experience, you know, there's a whole section where you can kind of drop in what your background is in. And, you know, you don't have to have any of that stuff. If you're just literally wanting to help parkour get to that next level, we're looking for everyone at this point. We need all the help we can get on marketing, social media, people volunteering at the events, helping with setup, and, you know, just spreading the good word, I'd say, at this point too.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely put that in the description for people. I love it, man. It's like the Avengers team assembling right now for
Assemble. Yeah, it's me with their conch shell somewhere in the background, just screaming that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that insurance is an interesting one. I definitely did a large chunk of my training completely uninsured. And I'm lucky to have made it through that without any catastrophic injury. I don't know how many others there are out there like me, but I'm assuming many, many young men and women. So.
Too many, yeah, myself included. So we're going to try and make that easier for both individual athletes, and then, as I mentioned, I think for gyms as well. If we can kind of